Hey, what's going on, guys? It is the weekend and I am excited. Not really for anything in particular. I'm just really tired of my classes right now. But I just have work and stuff to do. But nothing big planned, but it is the weekend for pretty much everybody. Yeah, should be. So yay for that. If you did not hear earlier this week, I did a smaller recording with my good friend Rhett. It's like it's shorter. It's like 20 minutes. I'm going to split it up this week just to see how that goes. And because of my time management this week, I just couldn't do one big one. So today I'm just going to be by myself, actually. But yeah, if you missed it earlier this week on Tuesday, I may have posted on Wednesday. Yeah, I posted on Wednesday. I did a short segment with my friend Rhett, and we talked about her education abroad. She's in Munich, Germany, and it was really good talk. She had a lot of good points. It was awesome. So you should check it out. Something that's been brought to my attention. People have like kind of talked to me, and some people have been like, "Hey, like, you sound really passive aggressive in your podcast. You say like you're not like spewing your opinion, but you are." And something I want to clear up is, I'm not okay. So I want to be as open minded as possible, but I definitely have biases and I have beliefs. So I'm not gonna hide those. Like, if you don't agree, I could care less. I really don't care. I'm doing this for myself. If you don't like it, don't listen. But on a lighter note, if you really do like think like, well, I don't think you're respecting my side, blah blah blah, you can go ahead and DM me. I'll have you on here and talk to you about it. 100%. If you want to be on, and you're like, I do not agree. That's fine. Let's talk about it, man. That's what this is for. So I mostly just so far the people I've had on it because like a lot of my friends are in this like really crazy state right now. And it's exciting. I love it. It's really great, and that's why I've just been, shining their light because it's awesome. I think people should know what they're doing, and I think people should have examples. So yeah, but today, just me. I'm gonna do like a little rant, kind of, not like my full-on rants because those are like a little aggressive, and I want to kind of stay low key. But I am pretty annoyed. So something that happened recently, that's been happening recently. I've been seeing a lot of or just hearing, it's just been a repetition in my life, a lot of comparison of money and happiness. Um, and for me, that's frustrating because just from my background, I've never had a lot of money. I've never been in an amazing financial situation with my family or independently, and I just don't agree with the argument that you need money to be happy. I will say, and I make this observation a lot. I look at like families that are doing well or people that are doing well. And this is specifically to America, considering our economy and where they live. But I will say, like, if you're making between like 60,000 and 100,000 a year, that seems to be like the best comfort zone. And there was a Nobel Prize winner that said, like, he can statistically track if you in America, if you're making 72,000 a year, he can statistically track every increment of money you make less than that. He can see the decline of happiness and comfort in your life. So like between, I would say between 1600, like that's good for like a career and stuff. Like that's maybe where you should be aiming, to like be like comfortable in our country. Also depending on where you live though, because that can be a huge factor. But I'm just really annoyed because I think there's a lot more to life and happiness than money. But I'm saying like if you want to be a businessman, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to be successful, you want to be big, you want to be out there and do your thing. I'm all for it. You want to make millions of dollars? Hell yeah, just make sure you hit me up after you make that money. But for real, just please do your thing. Seriously, if something makes you happy, 100% do it. And that's so cliche, but I really don't think enough people do that. And I want to look at the examples I have. I also want to mention that it's okay to not know what you want to do. And it's okay to like have this idea and just go for it, because generally, some back to like what if you didn't hear, Rhett was saying last week about her being in Germany. She was saying any advice she had was just go for it, just go do it. If you have this idea, you want to go somewhere, you want to do something, just do it. And like that's seriously that's really good advice, because if you look at all the people I've had so far, let's talk about Jason a little bit. This man went all the way to Jordan. He didn't know what he was. There was a lot of complications in his life. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And this man goes all the way to Jordan, right? And he realizes, it wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to go there and study he wanted to study language. And he was like, this place isn't really for me, this and that. And like he came to the conclusion, he's like, I want to go back to America and I want to go to school. I want to start my education and I want to study business. And he went all the way across the world to figure that out. Okay? That just go for it. Like seriously, like you have no idea what changes in your life can happen if you're just sitting in your comfort zone, like chilling, not doing anything. Okay. And like for me, I left all my friends. I left my entire life when I graduated high school because I had this like sliver of an idea that maybe moving across the country would be better for me. Whether that's true or not is to be determined, but I have 100% found out a lot about myself, found out a lot of things that I'd rather be doing, things in my life in general in the future that I want to do. Okay. So coming here has isolated me, but it has made me realize things I really want to do, and it's helped a lot with my independent growth. Okay. And then you got Rhett, man. She's blossoming. She's doing amazing. She like busted her ass. There were so many times that she didn't know if she was going to be able to end up in Germany. It was a long process. I think me and all her supporters were really behind her and knew she was going to do it, but she was stressed, man. There's a couple times where it's just like she wasn't totally sure if it was going to work out, and now she's there and she is loving life. It can go that way too. You can just go for it and it can turn out so awesome. So that's another reason to just do it. Okay. And so, yeah. So really just don't be so like conserved and like stay in your comfort zone. Really. I feel like in life, a general rule to live by is if you're comfortable and you're not getting any excitement from like stress or like a rush of like, oh my gosh, this may not work out. Maybe you're not doing it wrong, but you're not living to your full potential, because if you're not stressed about something, there is good stress. There's good stress and there's bad stress. If you're like throwing stuff on your plate and there's like you can't handle it, that's too much stress. Don't do that. But if you have a goal and it's like there are obstacles to get through it, do it. Like just go for it. But yeah. I mean, really, it's like hard to explain too when like it's so easy to stay in your comfort zone. I did it for so long. I was somewhere I was really unhappy for like a good amount of time in my life because I couldn't just do it. I couldn't just like pull the trigger and like get out of there. And I finally did. And it's different. It for sure has changed me, and there's a lot of things about life that are clear. So I definitely suggest it. Something else that I think is like huge is who you surround yourself with. Okay, if you like look at all the people I've had and you don't know me, and you're like, your friends in Jordan, your friends in Germany, your friends in Richmond, like you may think like I'm some like special person that has all these crazy friends, but those are just the exceptions, man. Those are the people who really went for it. I have a lot of friends, and a lot of them are just chilling, which is totally cool. They're going to do great things. I'm super excited to see who they become and the success they have. That's totally cool. But the reason I have those people, those exceptions on, is because they are taking everything to the next level, and I want them to be examples. Because I truly think who you surround yourself with, it's a psychological thing. It's true. There's studies on this. Who you surround yourself with completely like influences who you are, and it's with small things too. If you're hanging around people who are smoking cigarettes, you are much more likely to end up smoking cigarettes. If you're around people who are going to the gym and eating healthy, you're much more likely to do that, live that lifestyle. And it's with any decision making. You pick up traits and patterns from your friends, from the people you surround yourself with and you're always with, right? For instance, like I have a friend here who uses the word like a lot. And earlier in the podcast in the season, I caught myself using like all the time. I still do it. I've listened to post recordings. I'm like, shit, I'm still doing it. And it's hard because I'm with him all the time and he uses the word like all the time. So it rubs off on me, right? So definitely who you surround yourself with is huge. And maybe if you're with a lot of people right now, or just the people you hang out with, and they all kind of aren't the same as you, or maybe they're just like, I don't know. If you're in a bad spot and people around you are also in a bad spot, I'm not saying leave your friends. By no means am I saying that. I'm saying change is good. Go find some people who are like-minded as you, because maybe you're down or whatever because you're not getting the stimulation from things you desire in life, right? So, small example, I really like going camping and stuff, okay? And all of my friends are like city people here. They don't like, they're like, ew, camp, like what? And I have a friend in San Diego who likes camping. So, you bet as soon as I get a break from school, I'm like, yo, let's go camping now. Because you got to have those friends who have the same, they're like minded. They have the same interests as you. Because if you have those interests and you're not, like, feeding into them, you're just going to be living miserably. You're just going to be doing stuff you want. So I definitely think surrounding yourself with like minded people is huge. So, like everything we looked at, what I'm trying to say is there are so many other things in life to further yourself than money. Okay. And also, for instance, my friend Luther, who's in Vermont, I kind of want to have him on the podcast. I may try to do that next week. We'll see. But he's an environmental scientist. Okay. And I do think there's like a lot of running jokes. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but with like environmental scientists, anthropologists, and stuff, and they're like, "Why would you get that degree? All you can do with it is teach. Like, what, you're just gonna be a teacher, like, which means like you're not set up with for like a lot of money and et cetera, et cetera." But man, Luther loves outdoors. He loves being outside. He loves nature. He's always in it. So he was like, what do I want to do? I want to go to Vermont where there's nothing but trees and hills and mountains and it's beautiful. And I'm going to be an environmental scientist on top of that. So I'm always into trees and the beauty. Like, it makes perfect sense. He went somewhere where people are like-minded. He is doing stuff in his interests. Now, I think that's huge. If you're in a bad situation, just try to change. Try to go somewhere or go with people who are what you desire. Okay, but I have a lot of friends who have almost zero interest with me, or like similarities with me. Okay, so I definitely think like it's important to be versatile and have a lot of friends and like have a lot of acquaintances. And I do think it's a huge thing to have a friend for every single small interest. So like some people I know, I'm only friends with them because of like one little thing, but you bond through that one little thing and you get to know each other. And it's different. It's cool because you can really be friends with anybody. Some people like obviously much harder than others, and some people are exceptions and you're like, no way I'll be ever friends with them. But seriously, I don't think you really need money to be happy. I do think to be comfortable in a financial situation, yes, it is hard. And there's a certain amount of money you need to make depending on where you are to be like stress-free and be happy in those terms. Totally right. But does everybody need to be a millionaire? Hell no, man. No way. For instance, I know I'm not going to make much. I think I'll be stable in life, but I don't think I'll ever make that much money. Right now, my plans are to be a teacher. Okay, that is not setting up for success so much. I'm doing it out of the love for teaching and for the love of my major. Okay, and I enjoy sharing knowledge as part of my personality, right? Um, But I know, like, once I get those that masters, and it's a struggle finding a job, once I find that tenure wherever, I'm just gonna be chilling. I'm gonna have that income, and it's gonna be that. I'm gonna live life that way, and that's totally fine with me because I have other goals in life. I have other individual goals to achieve, that will further me as an individual. So rather than like me pursuing this infinite quest for the most amount of money I can get out of life, I'm pursuing the most amount of individual growth I can get out of life. Okay. So there's like different ways to do it. And like I said before, though, if you want to be a businessman and you want to make millions, I have a couple of friends like that, and I totally support them. They should do it. If that's what you want to do, go fucking do it. I don't see why you wouldn't. Like, I do think it's a misconception that, like, with all the money, like, for instance, if you look at Tai Lopez, if you know who he is, he's this like businessman, entrepreneur. He makes a lot of money. He's on YouTube. He's been on Ethan and Hila H3H3 Productions channel a lot. If you're an avid YouTube watcher, he's been on their channel quite a bit recently. His thing is, he makes a lot of money, and he's been quoted saying at this point in his life he's making $100,000 a day. He said he wishes he wasn't making that much. At this point in his life, he's trying not to make any more money because he said the happiest he ever was in his life is when he was making $100,000 a year. And he said every bit over that, he was saying basically all added income a year, that's just more stress. For sure. Like, he can see that, like, it adds stress, and he just got to this point where he's like, I don't want to make any more money because it's so much to deal with, and then there's a lot of downsides to it. He can't trust people who want to be his friends or be in a relationship because he has all this money. He doesn't know who to actually trust. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions is what I'm saying. But being rich, I'm sure, is great. Like, I'm sure, driving around in a Lambo and living the life is all fun and good, but also, unless that stuff's handed to you, there's definitely a lot of work that goes along with that. So, definitely. But yeah, I guess that's it. I don't want it to be too long. I just really wanted to give my 2 cents on that because it's been really bothering me. I've seen a lot of stuff related to that. But for sure, to wrap it up, in conclusion, I would, unless it is your goal, do not focus so much on money and focus on yourself, focus on your individual growth, focus on change. If it's not working for you, change something. 100%. Go do something new, find new people, really go into your interests. But yeah, so a little bit of a call there. Yeah, Jason's calling me. So, I should answer this. But you guys take it easy. So this will be posted Friday afternoon for my international people. I'm sorry, it's gonna be really late. I got a late start today, but I'm gonna try to do two shorter segments next week again. Okay, so this will be posted Friday. I'll try to do the same Wednesday and Friday. I'll make sure to put on the Instagram page that I'm changing up the schedule a little bit. I don't know how much more I'm going to do. The season might be ending soon because my schedule for school is changing and I'm adding a lot of classes. So I may be wrapping up the first season soon. But you guys, thank you so much for listening. And also, if you have opposing views, damn, Jason, if you have opposing views and you want to talk about it on here, hit me up and I'll make sure to extend the season or whatever, and we can talk about it all on here. That's totally cool with me. Please do, actually. That'd be really cool. So you guys take it easy. Thanks so much for listening to my little rant. I could have done a lot more, but I'm trying to be a little more reserved. So, all right, you guys take it easy. Bye.